Poison is everywhere in D&D. Monsters use it when they stab you with their stingers or bite you with their fangs. Assassins coat their blades with it and drow their crossbow bolts. Dwarves are resistant to its effects. And yet we often use poison suboptimally in our D&D games. Here are 5 ways you're probably using poison wrong and how you can fix it. Number 1, massively underutilizing poison. With everything else going on in the game, it's easy to just not focus on poison usage, even though it can be really cool and have some amazing effects. Most of us know about the basic poison listed in the player handbook, and yet how many players actually stock up on it prior to an adventure? And of course, there are more poisons listed on page 256 or 7 or somewhere around there of the Dungeon Master guide. But how many Dungeon Masters actually use them or make them available to players? Many times we simply overlook using poison in our games, but variety is the spice of life. And after playing the same old game for quite some time, putting the spotlight on a familiar but underused game mechanic can be really cool. I mean, wouldn't the game be more interesting if players had a selection of poisons at their disposal, could use them on their various adventures? I mean, imagine the rogue stocking up on oil of Taggart or burnt Othru fumes on the black market and ferreting them away for the next big heist. And especially when we consider that the massive amounts of gold that the core rules suggest DMs give to their players, giving them something like poison to spend all that cash on makes even more sense. Number 2, not making poison better and more interesting. Now, one of the first big objections folks are likely to have to using poison is that it mostly sucks. And yes, you have me there. I mean, the basic poison from the player handbook costs 100 gold pieces, takes an action to apply, and only does 1d4 poison damage. I mean, if that doesn't suck, I don't know what does. So as a dungeon master, consider homebrewing poisons a bit to make them a better option for players to consider. In the case of basic poison, how about we make it a bonus action to apply, or have it deal 1d8 damage, or have the 1d4 damage be applied to the first 3 attacks that land during a combat. Any one of those, but perhaps not all 3, of these fixes makes this poison a much better option and makes it more likely players will use it. Now, the poisons listed in the Dungeon Master Guide are certainly better, but they're mostly still just kind of uninteresting. I mean, most of them rely on the same tired 2 mechanics. Make a saving throw and take some damage, or make a saving throw or get the poisoned condition. Admittedly, that's not super exciting. So even though there are 14 additional types of poison in the DMG, they're mostly just different flavors of the same mechanic. And that is gonna get boring pretty fast, which leads me to my next point. Number 3, not expanding the poison options. As Dungeon Masters, it's our job to create an exciting and interesting game world for the players to play in and enjoy. The same can be said of poison. If we wish to use poisons more in our games and make it something cool the players can have fun with, we need to increase the options. And it needs to be more imaginative than just special names for the poison types with varying amounts of damage that they do. I mean, what about poisons that cause confusion or fear or charm the target? Poison that paralyzes or causes the target to launch into a fit of uncontrollable laughter, or poison that replicates a spell effect. In a game such as D&D, the possibilities are only limited by our imaginations. So let's not limit the poisons in our games to only doing damage and applying the poisoned effect. And yet, at the same time, creativity can be challenging. And as the Dungeon Master, you're just one person with one brain. I mean, unless you have some sort of like crazy mutation and you got 2 brains and stuff, and then you're like a superhero all over there with 2 brains, genius level stuff, buddy, and you don't need to listen to my videos. But anyway, that's not my point. What if your players could help too? Okay, also, if you're finding this video helpful and weren't offended by my 2-brained comment for some reason, I don't know, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment for the algorithm down below. Let me know what ideas for poison effects that you have. Number 4, not providing poison crafting options to players. Players often have amazing ideas and equally insane ideas, and several brains are usually better than one. So providing a way for players to create their own poisons does 2 things. First, it takes work off the Dungeon Master's shoulders. I mean, you can still create your own poisons if you'd like, but outsourcing creativity and effort allows you to focus on other things as needed too. Second, it gives your players a way to exercise their creativity and gets them more invested in the game because now they are getting excited about the cool poisons they might be crafting. Now I know what you're thinking. Luke, you just told me to allow my players to craft poisons to take work off my shoulders, but now if I have to create poison crafting systems, wasn't that just gonna add more work back on? Well, technically yes, but if you use a pre-existing poison crafting system, it isn't that much more work. The trick, in my opinion, is using a lightweight system that can be easily implemented and doesn't take a lot of time to read, learn, and teach to your players. There are probably other systems out there too, but my team and I recently published Poisoning Explored, a new poison crafting system for 5th edition that seeks to correct all these issues. Poisoning Explored is an expansion of our Reimagining the Bounty of the Land crafting system, and it's designed for dungeon masters and players who want poison to be a more prominent and cool feature in their games. It introduces a new potency mechanic that influences the difficulty of crafting a poison and determines how weak or strong that poison will be. There are, of course, rules for crafting the poisons, giving players the option of both quick poison crafting and downtime poison crafting. Also, I want to emphasize that this is a lightweight rule system that should be quick and easy for you and your players to learn and use at the game table. I mean, I believe in making DMs' lives easier, not harder. Now, since it is an expansion of our Reimagining the Bounty of the Land crafting system, it does lean on some of the rules in that system for finding and harvesting components from both creatures and plants. So there is a link down below to a special bundle that contains both rule sets at a discounted price. Also, in the month of October, all DM Lair patrons at the $15 tier and above will get Poisoning Explored included for free with their other patron benefits. That means you're going to get Lair Magazine, our digital map pack, and Poisoning Explored this month. Number 5, not setting the example. Once you've made poison more interesting, expanded possible options, and introduced some simple poison crafting rules your players can use, the next step is to set the example as the dungeon master. There are simple things you can do, such as equipping the bad guys with poison and having them use it against the player's characters. And of course, this leads naturally to having that poison turn into loot that the characters can take off the bad guys' bodies after they murderize them, or that they find in cabinets and chests in their hideouts, because all respectable bad guys have secret hideouts, right? But you can also introduce poison as a theme in your campaign and take things to the next level. Is the big bad and his cronies heading up a black market poison ring? Are bodies being found around the city, all having died from the same mysterious poison? Is the police force beginning to crack down on poison possession, and yet the players just love using all the special poison they've created? Now, if you're enjoying the content my team and I create, I would love to have you join us on Patreon at the link below. You can support the channel for as little as $5 a month, and you're gonna get tons of awesome bonus content, such as 5th edition adventures, digital maps, new monsters, puzzles, and other resources you can use in your games. And if you can't support the content right now, that's totally cool. Please continue to avail yourself of all the free content we make, such as these 2 videos right here, and that's it. Bye. Yeah.